Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and on this one I'm gonna check if you're able to get Marshall JCM2000 and Marshall JCM800 to sound like Plexi. This is something that you've been asked a lot. So let's check out first the Plexi. This is the 1987X, 50 watt Plexi. It says 50 watt, but as you probably know, the 50 watt Plexi is pretty much like 100 watts. And then the 100 watt Plexi, that puts out like, I think closer to 200 watts than 100. 150, 180 around something, because this is as loud as my 100 watt amps. This is louder than my PV5150. Or the 5150 is, you can see why it's in there. When I have a master on 5150 past noon, then it can compete with the volume of this one. So, you know, Plexi is Plexi. Anyway, what I have here, the first channel, yeah, I have a jumper cable, but the loudness too, that's off. And I have the loudness 1, which is a preamp volume, because this doesn't have a master, it's cranked. And the others are around 2 o'clock. It's like this. Plexi, that, you know, it's unique, fun amp to play. Okay, then let's check out how the JCM2000, this is the triple super lead. This is my favorite of the 2000 series. And the DSL it's pretty much similar, but it has 2 channels. But what stands out with this one to me is that the clean channel is absolutely fantastic. So great amp. I had this on sale on Reverb for a while, but then I thought that, why am I selling this? This is such a great amp. I mean, so it's not on sale anymore because it's a fantastic amp. Okay, so the crunch channel on the GSL. Okay, that's like that. I have everything pretty much around 1 o'clock, except the bass is like a little bit before noon, because I have the deep switch on. I like that. It's kind of like a resonance switch, so you gotta be careful with the bass then. Okay, then 800 here. This is a Zakk Wylde signature one, but it's pretty much exactly like the 2203X, the reissued ones with effect loop. This just has a 6550 power juice, so the low end is a bit cleaner. I will compare it to EL84 800, so you see. So, you know, no orders, nothing, 800. It's this 800, you know, bite that I love. And then the EL34, this is from 1985, no effect loops, nothing, the Euge. Like here, pretty much the same, but the EL34, since they kind of distort a little bit earlier, because the 6550s, they have a lot of headroom, so the low end stays cleaner and in a way kind of bolder, whereas with EL34s, it starts to break up a little bit before. I love both tubes, just a little bit different flavor, but you know, the only difference is pretty much in the low end, you know. So that's about that. Okay, so yeah, like you heard, the Plexi, it has that, you know, because no master volume. So what do I need to do? What do you need to do to get these amps to sound a bit like Plexi? Well, you put the master volume on full. Because this doesn't have a master volume. There's nothing to, you know, be in between the preamp section and the power amp section. This is preamp volume. Everything goes there. So how do we achieve that? Well, we crank the master. It's full. It's gonna be insanely loud. But what I have, all these amps go to this KHE amp switcher, then it goes to reactive load. So I will be deaf and the neighbors will probably come running like has the nuclear war started. So yeah, so the cab is on, but it's very low volume. I'm just using to get the vibe, and then I'm recording. Actually, I have an impulse response in the CYHRA React load. It's Valovirta from Jens Bogren, my signature IR. Then I'm recording this to Cubase. So this isn't being recorded. It's just for me to monitor. It's a bit like, sounds like this here. So it's still a bit loud, but yeah. So the impulse response is being recorded. It's actually my signature. It's pretty close to this cab, because this is the cab I've been using for past 15 or 20 years. So, you know. Okay, now the master volumes are full, and then gain 0. Preamp gain 0, like this one now, 0. So let's the Plexi first. As you hear with Plexi, the volume, it's not about, you can't really control the volume. It's just how much preamp gain you have. Now it's 1. Then after like 2 or 3, you just add more preamp gain. So these are insanely loud amps. Okay, then the TSL. The power tubes, I mean, this amp is like, okay, so yeah, now it's, and yeah, the crunch channel is the way to go with this one. The lead is too modern. Okay, now they're full. Obviously now they are louder because it's, you know. Okay, it becomes really, really bright. So let's back up the presence and treble a bit with CSL. It was quite close, but like you heard, Plexi sags nicely. I mean, usually I use this one with Variac, so I lower the voltage from 220 to 190, but I don't have the Variac now, so it's all. And it's just this, because yeah, different amp, different design. Plexi is like really, in a way, simple, but really genius. So there's this sag, this kind of brown sound where these just go, but the vibe, how the power tubes, this is hot because it's everything. So it's in there. Okay, let's check out the JCM800, because 800 is an evolution of Plexi. You know, many people wanted to have like a master volume so that you know they can actually play with the amp. You know, if they're playing somewhere else than outside stadiums, because those were designed to, you know, in the 60s, Plexi, that you don't need a PA. You just bring a stack of Plexi and, you know, it's as loud as a jet airplane. Okay, then the 800. So, master full preamp 0. I need to back this up a bit because this puts a lot of power because of the 6550 tubes. You know, that's what Zach Wild used on No More Chairs and No Rest for the Wicked. I think he only used the SD1 on solos, because like you heard, you crank everything, there's a lot of gain. There's preamp gain and power amp gain. So it's it's like, it's really hot. And when I played, it was really the noise from the tubes and everything. It was like I could feel that, and I actually needed to turn the cab down because it was just, the attenuator was begging for mercy also. Okay, yeah. So 800 and then Plexi. Now there's a difference, because this cranked, the reactive load is also begging for mercy. The fan is moving, because yeah, it's just 100 watt, but there's more. It's like, it's insane. I can hear what I'm playing through the tubes, really loud. So yeah, 800. It's pretty much like a Plexi when you crank the master and the preamp gain. Obviously, because this is a 50 watt, this pair of EL34s, this is a quartet of 6550s. It's a bit different. I'm not gonna try these out, even do that, because these are a bit special. I don't know what's with them, but like the master is now at 2. Check out, this is full. Check out the difference. So these go from 0 to pretty much like 2. Then it's, last time I dialed the master past noon of the bad boy, it blew up. Same with this. The fuse pops up, there's a pop-up fuse, and the last time actually the power tubes also blew up. So these are old, there's something wrong with them, but the wrong is the thing. They are amazing amps. So these have two settings on the master volume. It's 0, and then when you open it to 1, it's as loud as this on like 6 or 7. And now when they are both on 2, it's pretty much the same than your standard 800 fully cranked master. That's why these are a bit special, because they are quite like Plexis, and because they are pretty much always the master is cranked. So I'm not gonna do that with that. But yeah, once more, let's try with the Plexi and then the 2000 and then the 800. And the pickup is passive Duncan custom, really basic. So yeah, actually when I dialed the bass a little bit more, so the low end started to distort, it was really cool. Conclusion, I've said this before, but only Marshall Plexi can do Marshall Plexi. At least the vibe, to me, there was a difference. But by cranking the masters, so kind of disengaging the master volume, no master, you're able to get into that territory. And with 800, the same thing. Crank the master, then dial the, well, I have it cranked now. So you're able to get that. Then the power tubes really, but these put out so much power that I don't dare to play any longer. I feel that my reactive load is gonna, like, mercy. And with these old ones, that's why they're so special, because they're pretty much, they are like cranked every time. That's why there's not no mods. Everybody always say, well, yeah, those being modded and there's something blah blah blah, but it's not. It's basically because the master volume is it's like this. Everything's full. That's the key with the tube amps. I mean, they're like insanely loud because they were designed to in the 50s, 60s, when there wasn't real PA, so that the sound would actually come from the cabinet and stage. And yes, there are smaller amps nowadays, but there's a reason why these are still rules and why I have, because there's just more tubes, bigger transformers, bigger everything. Even though the sound is like, I can, with the modern technology, reactive loads, I can control the volume, the output volume, but the tone is still bigger. Except Plexi, I actually like the 50 watt Plexi more than the 100 watt Plexi. That's just way, it's because this sags nicely when you crank that. The sound wise they're pretty similar, but I like the feel of a 50 watt Plexi more, which in reality it's pretty much like a 100 watt amp, almost. Hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully this answered to your questions. And if you wonder that, can you do that? Yeah, you can get pretty close, but the trick is just crank the master. Crank everything. Then it's like a Plexi. All the best, take care, bye.